Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick. How are you guys? I am here to remind you that I have not forgotten about Star Wars Legion. We've just had so many things to talk about in the world of X-Wing 2nd Edition that everything got a little bit sidetracked. And over the past week we had a lot of really cool looking things come out in Star Wars Legion, being revealed for Star Wars Legion. So without further ado, let's dive into everything that we've seen just recently. First of all, we had the Priority Supplies Battle Expansion box released last week. Nothing new to report on this. It had just those three cards that we see here on the spread. Sabotage the Moisture Evaporators, Advanced Positioning, and Minefield. Now, I already made a video talking about those when this was first previewed, so click on the annotation up here if you want to see that. And we also had revealed the last contents that will be provided in the Han Solo Commander expansion pack. We have the final command card here in front of the spread. Change of plans, 3 pip Han Solo and 2 units. When this card is revealed, you may discard it to return the opponent's command card to their hand. If you do, return to the select command card step. Obviously, otherwise you don't have command cards. The opponent cannot select the command card that was returned to their hand. And in this article, they actually show an example of Han Solo making Vader lose Implacable, which when I first saw this, I thought, yeah, that's probably one of the best situations to use that. When you have Han just near a very high priority commander on the Empire, specifically Vader, or if you're fighting another Rebel player, Luke, it means they can't then get that first activation in and take a big swing at Han, and that's quite useful. Now, keep in mind, there is a bit of mind games going on here. Your opponent might see this coming and intentionally choose a command card they never wanted to play, and then again, you might double think them, and then you don't play this, and then they're forced to use a bad command card. Out of everything that we've seen with Han Solo, it's about truly frustrating and irritating your opponent. Sorry about the mess for that extra fast activation that nobody else can beat you on. And reckless diversion to mess around with your opponent's targeting priority. Looks like a lot of fun, looks like the trolliest commander we have so far, and I think sitting between the points cost of Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker, he definitely has a place on the Rebel faction. Whether it be by himself or alongside Leia, I can definitely see lists with Han and Leia together. I think the points do work out for that to be very viable. We also had the card Emergency Stims revealed. This is another tech card that costs 8 points. You need to spend it in order to use it. During an attack, when you would suffer wounds, prevent up to 2 wounds and place an equal number of wound tokens on this card instead. If you do, at the end of your next activation, discard each token on this card and suffer wounds equal to the number of tokens discarded. Which is weird. It's not like a med kit which just saves you from taking wounds. You still have to take all of those wounds at the end of the turn. It's weird that this comes in the Han pack, because this strikes me as something that goes quite well with troopers. On stormtroopers or rebel troopers or anything like that. Especially troopers that can fire with a lot of dice and have better dice. So like stormtroopers or even fleet troopers, for example. There's actually a fleet trooper pictured in the card, so that makes perfect sense. The more minis that those have to attack with, the significantly better those attacks are. And even if it's just for one turn, yeah, I can see the value there. 8 points seems like quite a lot just for a one-off better attack. I can't see this working a lot of times during a game, so having to spend it and spend 8 points seems a bit expensive to me. I don't know, I don't really see this one working out too good. In the comment section, guys, if you think this is good, let me know and talk about some of the applications for it, and it'd be cool to have a bit of a conversation about this one. Okay, now onto the exciting stuff. We have a couple of new units for the Empire to talk about. First up, Imperial Royal Guards, and these guys look absolutely boss. In fact, before we talk about any of the cards or anything, let's appreciate the fact that we have some really cool looking, colourful troopers on the Empire. Not this just sea of white that we keep seeing. I haven't gotten around to painting my snowtroopers, but I just want to paint all their cloaks and everything reds just so there's a bit of variation in that. And they'll go nicely alongside these, that's for sure. I've seen a few people comment on the quality of these minis, saying there's a pretty sizable gap around the arms, and I can see people's concern with this kind of stuff. I think it's worth reminding you guys that yes, we're not getting sort of Games Workshop quality minis here, but at the same time, we're not paying for Games Workshop quality minis, so I think that's okay. I've been really impressed with Fantasy Flight's attempt with these minis so far, and I have no reason to believe that these will be significantly worse. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a nice high-res image, so here I go. Oop, okay, just trying to zoom in here. There we go, let's get the card up there. All right, I'll put the text on screen for you guys to see so you don't have to turn your head and squint like I am. These guys cost 75 points, only come with 3 minis. They're part of the specialist units. They have the upgrade for a heavy trooper, which we'll talk about in a second. 2 decorated upgrades, 1 tech and 1 grenades. They have 2 health, 2 constitution, defend with red dice, no surges, which seems kind of weird. Move at a speed of 2. They have a really good melee attack with 1 red dice and 1 black dice. Also the EC-17 holdout blaster at range 1 to 2 with 2 black dice. So these guys want to get in close, which kind of plays around with the same design space as the Snowtrooper, except these guys give you a much higher ceiling if you do manage to get them into base contact, plus they can move at speed too, which is very interesting. Their keywords are charge. After you perform a move action, you may perform a free melee attack action. Awesome, definitely works for what these guys want to be doing. Discipline 2. When you are issued an order, you may remove up to 2 suppression tokens. And that's very interesting. The timing with that doesn't work out the best when it comes to these kinds of things. I mean, yeah, if you take the random tokens out of the bag and you happen to have not already issued those guys an order, that is not going to happen all the time though. It's very situational. However, that does give you an incentive to not issue these guys orders straight away. And that could give you a significant amount of upside. I guess you could focus on giving more other high priority units orders, and that could be quite cool. Also, they have Guardian 2, and this is the first time we've actually seen Guardian on a actual unit and not on an upgrade card. While a friendly trooper unit at range 1 and in line of sight is defending against a ranged attack, you may cancel up to 2 hit results. For each result cancelled, roll 1 of your defense dice, convert any surges, then suffer 1 wound for each blank result. It's about protecting high priority targets like Emperor Palpatine, which we'll talk about in a second. Also, Vader. I do want to bring up Vader with these guys because I always liked the concept of moving Vader alongside Snowtroopers, because Snowtroopers give you a bit more range in terms of firepower, but they move equally with Vader and have the same kind of raw attack efficiency. And these guys seem very similar as well. I mean, alongside Vader, they also have that charge bonus. It means that if you're charging at your opponent with these guys and Vader, it means they have several different targets that they're going to want to try and make sure they don't get into base contact with. And that could be interesting. Obviously, these guys are designed to work side along the Emperor, but I do like the idea of Vader alongside these guys. Plus, I just like Vader overall. He's my favorite unit in the game. Probably will be for a long time. Alright, let's have a bit of a squint at this spread. None of these have been revealed in the article. We do have Electro Staff Guard, which is the 1 extra mini that this unit can take. He costs 25 points, goes in the Royal Guard only. Add 1 Electro Staff Guard unit. While defending against a melee attack, you gain immune to pierce. While performing a melee attack, this unit can only use the weapon on this card. Okay, so that means that this guy only gets 2 black dice while the rest of all these guys get a black and a red. Okay, I don't see why that's a huge deal. I guess you're trading off that big buff that you get across all of these guys. Being immune to pierce is fantastic. It's only on melee, but I think that's okay. The whole idea is they can defend themselves and make sure if they're fighting Jedi, they can sort of hold their own, which is kind of the whole point of these guys. They want to defend the Emperor from any kind of assassination attempt, which would usually be from a Jedi or something like that. We also have Termin something and Fragile something or other. What people have been noticing most about this is one of the art here has Death Troopers and one of the art here has Wookiees. A lot of people are saying, it's like, oh, does this mean we're going to get Death Troopers and Wookiees in the game? I don't think this means we're going to get Death Troopers and Wookiees in the game, but I think that's pretty much a given anyway. They're 2 of the things that people in general have been asking for a heap. We can't see a whole heap of things here. The fragmentation is some kind of grenade, and the Termin something is maybe Terminate, something like that. We'll see all of these when more is revealed. Okay, moving on to Emperor Palpatine. This mini, apart from anything else, looks really cool. I wasn't expecting Emperor Palpatine to be in the game so early. I thought they kind of breadcrumb out all these commanders and not just drop all the coolest characters straight away, but they have. This is what we have. It's a cool looking mini and it's a cool looking card, that's for sure. And actually, before we talk about anything else in this, we do have more force powers, which is really cool. Anger for 5 points, dark side only. After you suffer 1 or more wounds, gain 1 aim token. I find the builds on Vader in particular to be a bit awkward. because he kind of relies on these really high utility things like choke and saber throw and all this kind of stuff. But when they don't really come off during a game, it's kind of wasted points. And I really wanted on Vader a really good passive buff that's cheap and is relevant more of the time. And this, right off the bat, strikes me as something that's really, really good. Vader is probably going to suffer wounds. If he doesn't, he's going to tear your opponent up. So either of those scenarios are quite good. And anger just seems like a great ability to have. Also, this comes with a copy of Forced Choke, and I don't understand why it would. I mean, I guess this means that you're able to take Palp and Vader together and they can both have Force Choke. Cool. I mean, that'd be a really expensive set of commanders for a start. But it's an upgrade that comes in the starter pack. It just seems like an odd include here, but Anger nonetheless looks really cool. Also, command cards. We only have one revealed. One Pip, and now you will die. Oh, I love that. Emperor Palpatine. During Emperor Palpatine's activation, he may suffer 1 wound and gain 1 suppression token. That does matter on him. Oh yes, he has 4 courage. Okay, fair enough. To perform an attack, he may do this any number of times. After Emperor Palpatine performs an attack, the defender gains 1 immobilized token. Oh wow. Okay, so flavor-wise, yeah, just bzz, bzz, bzz. Love it, love it, love it, need it. That's really cool. It's just a really cool recursive effect. Very happy with that. And it can shut down vehicles as well, which seems like it could be a lot of fun. I always like the 1 pip abilities, or in the case of Han Solo, the 0 pip abilities, to be a really powerful alpha strike for commanders. And this looks like it might be the best one out of all of them. Let's scroll down to Palp's card and take a look. First up, Palpatine costs 210 points. He is the most expensive commander in the game when he will be released. He has 3 Force upgrades and 1 commander upgrade, so giving him a little bit more power over Darth Vader. I think that might be the main reason he's 10 more points. He has 5 health, 4 constitution, defends with red dice, and has surge on both offense and defense, and his offensive surges are criticals as well. Just like Vader, only moves at speed 1, and he has Force Lightning, which works in base contact and at range 1 to 2. The first weapon, I believe, that does that as well, which is really cool. 2 of each color dice, Pierce 2 and Suppressive. Nasty, nasty, nasty. This is for killing characters. This is what this guy's all about. Doesn't strike me as something that's going to be so great against vehicles, but I guess he does have that immobilized trigger he can use on his command card, so yeah, it's all possible. As an action, he has Pull the Strings. Choose a friendly trooper at range 1 to 2. That unit may perform a free attack action and a free move action. That's awesome. That's probably another reason why this guy is more expensive than Vader. That's really cool. I can't impress upon you guys how big free move and attacks are. That is amazing board control. Yes, it has to be at range 1 to 2 of your slow-moving Palp. And yes, he's not as invincible as Vader. Nonetheless, this guy wants to be around friendly troops, as we're going to see with the next keyword. Entourage, Imperial Royal Guards. While building an army, ignore the rank of 1 Imperial Royal Guard unit. During the command phase, you may issue an order to a friendly Imperial Royal Guard unit at range 1 to 2. And I'm very interested by that wording because it says you. Does the you refer to Palp, or does you refer to you, the player? Because that means if it's referring to Palp, it must be a Palp command card or a generic command card as long as you've elected Palp to be the commander for that turn. So that might need some clarification. I'm going to guess yes, it does need to be from Palp. But I don't like the way FFG use the term you. They do it in X-Wing as well when they're referring to the ship the ability's on. Kind of annoying wording, just something that kind of annoys me. Anyway, moving on. Immune to Pierce because apparently he can't be hit by a lightsaber. Cool, not going to complain there. And Master of the Force 2 same as Vader. So he can re-ready Force abilities. That's what that one means. So if he has things like choke and push, that works really, really well. But oddly enough, that also seems to work with saber throw. Because this Force Lightning is a melee attack, which seems kind of weird. I mean, I know technically the Emperor does have a lightsaber, but he doesn't have a lightsaber attack on his card. Typically, he doesn't use his lightsaber. That was just something he did during the Clone Wars, or at least based on the events of Return of the Jedi, it doesn't appear that he carries his lightsaber around with him during the events of the Galactic Civil War. So that's kind of weird. Saber throw on this guy can turn his lightning into a Force saber throw. I mean, it doesn't matter because it already works at range 1 to 2. It's just a weird interaction that's there. I guess it doesn't change the power level of this card, so I'm not going to complain. Just a little weird side bit there. And as you can see, he looks absolutely dope next to all of his Royal Guard guys. One thing I will say, FFG, do you have any other dioramas apart from Hoth and Endor? Because you seem to be featuring every unit on this. I would have loved to have seen the Emperor's Throne room in this article, just like the inside of a Death Star or any kind of mechanical bay. That would have been cool. Nonetheless, I do like the look of these minis, and I'm excited for all these new units. In the comment section, guys, what do you think of all this new stuff? I'm sorry it took me ages to get through this. In the meantime, like and subscribe. Like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Reddit, and I will catch you guys later.